All right then.
We like it.
Yeah. I have no idea.
It's fine. I'm gonna talk to him next time. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I left it felt like it's going in the right direction.
It takes a
little bit.
Yeah.
I don't see you where you're supposed to. It's all these flat tires running up and down. I was like, oh, I mean. Today, the day.
No, I'm bad.
Everybody's
Pull them all down.
settled down now. We have to play
Close one out.
live.
So the guys have one.
Yeah. I heard that. Before I left, I was like, oh, please, no.
Yeah, nope. Just a bad social.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Regular meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety for July 22nd. Please have roll call.
Mayor Dean Vonderheide,
Here.
Board Member Tim Bell,
Present.
Board Member Nancy Eckerly. Here. Police Chief Chadwick,
Here.
Street Commissioner Jeff Tyson,
Here.
City Engineer Chad Hearn,
Here.
Personnel Safety Loss Control Director Kel Kamis,
Here.
Fire Chief Code Enforcement Officer Kenny Hoaxing,
Present.
Director of Community Development and Planning John Kinselman,
Here.
Park and Recreation Director Tom Mormon,
Here.
City Attorney Renee Favorite. Here. Our Treasurer Kirsten Kamis present. In order to have a quorum, the majority of the board members must be present. All board members are present, which is a majority. Therefore, there is a quorum for this meeting.
We're all the very big stand and join the pledge of allegiance. With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Noise outside the building, it's good stuff happening this year.
Right in time.
Open Main Street paving is beginning this morning. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for July 8th. Any additions or corrections?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as they were presented.
I have a motion from Nancy.
And I'll second.
And a second from Sam, 6-7. Any further discussion? All in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, next up is, Lloyd Beer. Lloyd?
Yeah.
Come up and
Okay.
introduce yourself.
No,
Not ready?
not yet.
Okay, you wanna, let's go ahead and, Ruben, would you mind using our name?
Yep.
Then we'll also follow up, with the agreement on the regular lighting, so.
Yeah.
Ruger Kirstein's here on behalf of part of Jasper. First, we'll talk about Music on Main. Through July, the regular Music on Main events on Saturday are not scheduled due to typically the heat and everything else. But there is something exciting this Friday. Top Notch is wanting to do their opening there in the former Riot Jane space by the fire pits. So we were seeking approval to have Debbie Sheeter at the fire pit this Friday, the 25th, from 6 to 9 o'clock playing music.
And that is a request of the Heart of Jasper, correct?
Yes,
Sounds great. Happy to have a new business opening up.
I know, they came in right after, Riot Jane, so it was great to see that space filled back up on the square.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure.
it's an existing, I don't wanna speak for them, but I believe they've got another location and they're so they're a stable business, so hopefully they will have success here in Jasper as well.
Sounds good. I assume we've checked for any conflicts of time and events. Can't see, Lisa. I think it's good. I'm glad you're coordinating with that opening, and it's always good to have new business come in downtown. So with that, I make a motion that we, approve music on Main for this Friday from 6 to 9 o'clock downtown in the square. In the fire pit area.
I'll second that
So
motion.
a second from Nancy, any further discussion?
I think it's also kind of a test to see how a Friday evening would work versus a Wednesday evening.
Yeah, that's, we went through our new strategies coming up over the next couple of years and through a lot of surveys and items that we had submitted out, a lot of people would have liked to see entertainment past the 5 o'clock timeframe. So this is kind of dueling up and testing that out as well, where potentially we might move some of the Saturday at noon to Friday evenings and then kind of just test and see how we get the most people downtown. So it's also a good test run for that too.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next one is the,
The perimeter lighting agreement, correct. I'll let Ruger explain the project, but I will say that, Heart of Jasper came to the city of Jasper with a perimeter lighting agreement requesting permission to use City Hall to install, a portion of the lights for that project onto City Hall. So the agreement itself doesn't transact any money. It's just permission to use, to enter City Hall and affix lights to the outside, of City Hall. And I've gone through the agreement, and have approved the agreement.
Thank you.
so,
So this, historically speaking, there's been, some building owners downtown that have done a really good job of keeping up with their perimeter lights. But over the years, some have become, non-functional, obsolete and not replaced, and that left the downtown with, buildings that didn't have lights, some that had lights, they were all different kinds of lights. And so Heart of Jasper, voted on this and took it on as a project, that we would like to see a really nice, commercial grade, lighting that would, program in with the lights that are strung from the courthouse. So these systems will actually, tie together, to where they'll be programmed in the different seasons of the year. They can be changed to various colors and they'll all coordinate then with the lights that are, currently strung to the courthouse. So they'll complement each other very well. If everybody's seen the, lights, there were some samples installed on City Hall already. One was a less bright, one was a more bright option. We just wanted to see, the product before we confirmed the order. We went with the more bright, option because those can also always be programmed to dim down if they so, say start brighter and then dim them down if needed. You can't make it brighter if you go with the other grade of light. So that's the reason why those two samples were installed on City Hall. We have obtained permission from every single building owner on the square and then one block, north in every direction. So these lights will go, for an example, from, like the finishing touches on the south end on there. And it'll go up and wrap around the square. They'll go west on 6 to 231. They'll go north to 7th Street. And then they'll stop on Jackson on the east. So we decided to take that project on first. And we have since removed all of the old lights and ready for Winterland to install the new lights, given that they come in. We're just waiting for them to come in from them to install. So
Who's doing the installation, which are?
Winterland. believe it was the same company that worked on the courthouse lights. Because we wanted to use a similar company to get the same brand of lights to where they're all compatible together. And the courthouse lights have held up really nicely, so it's good quality.
Do we need a certificate of insurance? We have that.
I have to check with Cindy before, I think, working with our Jasper.
Okay.
Yeah, Winterland will supply a certificate of insurance to install those. Yeah. So the goal is to have them installed by Strassenfest. But last week on a call with Winterland, at that time, the lights were still in a container on the port. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest. I don't want to say it.
Use a bucket truck or anything, get up there, or I know some buildings,
We
may have to close off spaces or anything like that.
They made it, I don't think so. They made it seem as if they were going to be doing all of the work from the rooftops. And they weren't going to be using the sidewalks with lifts or anything, because I did ask that question. And at the time, they said no, but if that would change, then we might be coming to ask for permission to use the sidewalks and lifts. Yeah,
So I think just keep us tuned with what
Yeah.
the schedule is.
the day, yeah, whenever we know exactly when they're going to be here, we'll let everybody know.
Yeah.
And what building they plan to start on. I think he said once they start, it'll take like 2 or 3 days to do the complete install, so.
Good. I think it's a great project and will help define the downtown, which is something I think that there's. It's been voiced that it's people drive by and don't even know they're driven by downtown, so. That's it's hard for me to believe because I always look at the courthouse and I say that's it, but you know, I guess I'm from here, so I know others from out of town just have missed it. So I think it's part of that defining of what is the downtown Jasper.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, is there anything else you speak to? Okay. Entertain a motion to.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the perimeter lighting agreement between the Heart of Jasper and the city of Jasper to install lights. We're really agreed. For this building.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, a motion from Tim and a second from Nancy. Any further discussion on this? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thanks, Ruder.
Thanks, Ritter.
Thank you.
Okay, Chloe, are you ready?
Thanks.
Sure.
My name is Chloe Billa and I am the current chairperson for the annual Kids Day event on the square. At this event, kids K through 12 are encouraged to make and sell their own handmade products, which I know you guys are all familiar with, and to hopefully learn a thing or two about entrepreneurship in the process. This year's event is set to be held on Saturday, September 27th from 10 to 1. And it is the 31st year for the event. In order for Kids Day to run smoothly, I am seeking permission to use the sidewalks around the square. This is where the kids will set up their booths alongside the building fronts. Also, if the street department could refrain from blowing off the sidewalks that morning due to the taping and the chalk that we're using, that would be much appreciated. Otherwise it might be blown right off. Hopefully it doesn't rain. The last couple years have gone very well due to some changes that were implemented. People preferred being up on the sidewalk with the roads open so that cars or passers would be more inclined to stop and park and walk around and enjoy the booths of the children. More on promoting, I am going to be sending out information in a waiver sheet to the schools to be to be put on the kids' take-home folders that go home each week. I am attending Holy Trinity's back to school open house. I plan to reach out to the churches and have them put that on their bulletins. And add to school newsletters and Facebook, the Facebook page that I'm gonna create as well. The date change, if it were to, well, moved back one weekend in order to avoid surrounding communities, events such as like the Holland Community Festival, Ferdinand Folk Fest, Irish Road Bowling is usually that weekend, and fall Chandelier Market, Barn Market. So Kids Day will be held the fourth weekend in September moving forward to avoid anything there. Tammy Summerstein does Fun on the Farm the same weekend, which based on last year, many people came to both events. So that should be okay. And I feel like in years past, people think, oh, it's just another thing downtown for the store owners, but or for them to deal with. But I think with a fresh breath of air over the past couple of years, it's really turned into something fun and exciting. And I know I really enjoy each year, and I know some of you guys enjoy as well. So thank you for your consideration. It's exciting.
And about how many booths, let's just call it, have you been having the last couple of years?
This is my first year.
Yeah.
I could give you numbers on that. So it's
pretty well
looking,
square is full.
yeah, the whole entire square is full, and I mean, it is back to back. So around 100 something.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah.
It's also, I've noticed, the children or the kids are doing their own work. It's not like a parent has done their work
Exactly.
and then helped them set up.
Yeah, and they're really excited about it
Yeah.
too. So,
If I recall last year, there was, it seemed to be a little congestion out around
It
the
is.
square. And I think it's really important to keep the area flowing for people, especially, ADA assistants.
yeah,
People that have an impairment getting around the square, so
yeah, that's true.
I'd like to make sure that. We set those booths up such
Kind
that
of back a little bit,
there is a flow.
so there's enough room to walk and get through.
Right,
Okay,
but it was great, I mean,
Yeah.
it was packed and difficult to get through.
yeah, because it's so packed, and that's sometimes hard to control.
I'm really was pleased with the interest last year and the tickets, so.
And thank you for taking this over also.
Yes.
It's a big
Thank you.
challenge.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I'm a teacher, so I'm already at the schools with the kids, so it makes it a little bit easier.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve on behalf of the Greater Downtown Jasper Business Association and Chloe Vila as the contact person for Kids Day to be held on Saturday, September 27th. Set up between around 8 o'clock, and then the event itself going from 10 to 1 or maybe even 2 o'clock.
Clean up, yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion from Nancy and a second from Tim, any further discussion?
And again, it is with the street remaining open,
Yeah.
just the sidewalks are,
Mhm.
well, accessible, as the mayor said too, but the sidewalks are where the booths will be set up, but the
Yeah.
road is open.
Is open, yeah.
With that, all in favor, by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. And it's gonna be the fourth Saturday.
Moving forward,
Okay,
yes.
that's the-
And then if it were to rain, it would be the following weekend. It would be moved. Is that
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. First on my agenda is requesting permission, excuse me, requesting permission to junk some assets. a lot of equipment that we have now. The police department is going on a 5-year contract. Seems to be the way of the future with equipment purchases and with those providers. So this particular year, we received some new body cameras and some new tasers. So therefore, I'd like the permission to junk the ones that were replaced. On body cameras, we had 27 of them that were replaced. The asset numbers are sequential in order. They begin with 103117 and end with 103143. So just like permission to remove those from the asset list.
So there is no trade-in value or.
So we actually, those asset numbers were traded in for the new ones that we have. Yes, so.
So we're not really junking them, we're just removing
Removing,
them.
yeah,
from the
removing them
assets.
from the asset list, yeah. Pardon me, yeah. Replacing them with the new ones that we now have.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the request to remove 27 body cameras from our inventory with numbers starting with 103117 sequentially to 103143. Unless you want me to read everything.
No, if you can just give me the list of the numbers. then.
Yes, I have a list.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Nancy and a second from Tim. Any further discussion? All in favor, by saying aye.
Aye.
The same goes with our tasers. We were able to purchase some of the newest tasers. And therefore, we're only getting rid of 6 of the old ones, removing them from the asset list. Those 6 were the ones that were kind of at the end of their life cycle. The other ones we could still use for training purposes and potentially to equip any new maybe traffic auxiliary folks that we might have on it. So the ones that we would like to remove from the asset list are, and these numbers are not sequential, so I'll go ahead and read those out. 102853, 102856. 102859, 102860, 102862, and 102863.
And so these were not traded in, so these would be junked.
So none of those were traded, none of the new tasers were traded in.
And so tell me a little bit about the life of the taser, you know.
So the tasers,
what makes it obsolete?
that technology is always evolving. So it used to be a yellow handle with a battery. Once that battery was done, you threw it away. It had a one-time cartridge on it that if you pulled the trigger, that cartridge deployed, then you threw that cartridge away, put a new one on. To advance to the next generation, and then now the generation that we have is called the Taser 10, which now the brains of the taser is now lies in the battery of it. The battery is the computer part of it, and is interchangeable. So if an officer, once that battery goes dead, or used to throw it away, we now have a docking station there at the police department that the officer removes that battery, puts it in there, to recharges, and while it's recharging, it also takes any data. So anytime that we may turn the taser on, like if we pull it out, order somebody to the ground and we turn that taser on, that is documented. And so what used to be documented in the actual taser part is now that information is kept in the battery. And when you put it into that docking station, it uploads all that information to the cloud. On the other end of the taser, the actual deployment part of it, what used to be a one-time, just pull the trigger and that cartridge is done. There are now 10 different probes that are in the end of that. So an officer can actually, as with the taser, how a taser works, the prongs have to hit the individual and have good spacing for it to be effective. And sometimes that's hard to do when you're in a rapidly evolving, type situation, when a person's moving and. So that one trigger pull wasn't a lot of times effective because one of the prongs may miss at the individual. We're here, if you miss, you've got 10 different times that you can pull that trigger to get the prongs to go. So anyway, that technology constantly evolves. So after once again, a 5-year period, TASER will no longer service or support the old technology, which is why you go with the new technology.
So there's not even a way for us to let a different agency.
Utilize it. Yeah.
Right, because the technology isn't supported. So, like we said, we kept them for training purposes, and for, like, I carry one of the older ones, since I'm not on the road, all the time, keeping the guys that are out on the streets, that have the highest chances of using it with the latest technology. So anyway, we kept those back for those type of situations, the ones that were not at the end of their life cycle.
Appreciate the explanation, chief. This is the last number, 1283.
863,
863.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to, John, the, tasers, asset numbers 102,853, 102,856, 102,859, 102,860, 102,862, and then 102,863.
I'll second that motion.
A motion from Tim and a second from Nancy. Any further discussion on this? All in favor, somebody saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next on my list is request permission for officers Mormon and Beaker to attend field training officer school. August 18th through the 20th in Evansville. Both of these officers have proven themselves to be very good officers. It would be a great asset to new officers as field training officers. The cost is $400 a piece, plus $105 a piece for meals, for a total of $1,010. There's no lodging costs since we are getting them in a school that's in Evansville. So total cost for those two officers to attend that training is $1,010.
I'm curious, I can't remember, how long have both of those officers been on the department?
They have been on for a couple to several years now, so. Which is good to get a younger officer's perspective on, they have the guys that have been around a while, that's got their way of doing it, the way they're trained up, and to get the younger guys' perspective also is very beneficial. When we pair them up, they aren't just with one field training officer through their field training officer, through their FTO process. They get with several different officers. So we get them with more veteran guys to the younger guys so they can see the different styles and the different ways that officers do their patrols.
And you have several training requests coming up and you do have money in your budget for it.
That's correct. Yep.
I will just say, I checked last night, and I've got $7,000 left. I don't know what's outstanding and what's already been approved, but here, as long as you're aware of that.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the permission for officers Mormon and Beaker to attend field training officer school in Evansville on August 18th through the 20th at the cost of $1,010.
I'll second.
Motion from Nancy and a second. Any further discussion? Favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next is request permission for Detective Greener to attend investigating and prosecuting child sexual abuse and online exploitation training, which is going to be held at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, August 26th through August 28th. Unfortunately, these are crimes that our detectives have to investigate all too often. So the cost of the training is $500 plus his travel expenses, which is $352.75 for the hotel and $105 for meals, for a total of $957.75.
With this, chief, I just wanted to point out, I think continued training is one of the keys, I think, for retention of our officers. It's not just direct compensation, it's also the advanced training and continuing to engage them in learning new elements of the law enforcement. So, and I'm a proponent of that as long as we budget, which is the key. So I'll make the motion that we allow Detective Greener to attend the investigating prosecuting child sexual abuse and online exploitation training in Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, August 26th through August 28th for $957.75.
I'll second that motion.
Second from Nancy. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Last on my list is, once again, a request for permission to send, some officers to training, the officers Burton and Moondy, to attend Glock Armor School, which again is in Evansville on October 7th. This is a one-day school that is hosted by Glock. We carry Glock sidearms. This training allows both of those officers to maintain and repair anything that may go wrong with their guns. Glocks are very reliable guns, but there are times obviously that something goes wrong with them, and they are able to diagnose and repair with going through that training. Both of these officers are firearms instructors with the agency. So it's a one-day training. The cost is $300 a piece, would be a total of $600 for the training. And Glock provides a lunch for them while they're there, so there's no meal costs or anything like that. So $600 for those two officers to attend that training.
I'll make a motion to approve officers Burton and Moondy to attend Glock Armor School in Evansville on October 7th at a cost of $600.
Motion for Tim. I'll second that. Any further discussion? Favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Chief Oakside.
We go through those first, since the last time. The first one is Opal Service Sign in that 336 East 9th Street. And that has been taken care of. Brenda Ball at 415 East 15th Street. That's a rental, and that property's been taken care of by the people renting that home. Caitlin Bailey, she had 2 violations, 415 West 15th. The weeds have been taken care of, and there's some declared nuisance there that is in process. That we've taken care of very soon, hopefully. Katie's Rentals, that was 410 East 7th Street. They needed house numbers and also a declared nuisance. That's been taken care of. Damian Early at 1042 West 6th Street. Weed violations been taken care of. Sean Deely at 1455 West 47th Street. Both those been taken care of as a weed violation, and they were parking a vehicle in their front yard, so that's been taken care of. Gregory and Devin Smith at 209 West 9th Street. That's been taken care of, weed violation. Mark Schaefer at 1513 Newton Street. Weed violation, that's been taken care of as well. Kennedy Margarita, that's a declared nuisance, 615 Hartford Drive. That is not due yet. I'll be out there soon to take care of that. Carl and Cindy Lee at 1327 Jackson Street. That's been taken care of. I went by there yesterday. Jacob and Brooklyn Harrison, 1311 Kundak Street. That is actually in foreclosure. That's a mortgage company to take care of that. However, we've been in a lot of contact back and forth. Um, This was for a weed violation, that's a second offense. So actually, the street department
And trash, right?
Street department with that one. The other violation for that property has been ongoing trash accumulation. And the legal department is following through with the procedure of,
They have a management company that has contacted us no less than probably a half dozen times to tell us they're working on it. We're working on it, and it just keeps, so we're finding them as of yesterday. We met and went through our list, so the next step is we're finding them and see if that would get a little bit more responsive.
on the trash though, we have to, the mortgage thing, is that right?
In order for the city to take action to, do something other than weed abatement, so if we go into clean up trash or whatever that is, we first have to send notice to anyone who has an interest in that property. So we have to do a title search in order to determine whether or who all has an interest in the property. Once that is complete, we send a letter to all those entities or individuals, and then after 10 days, we can go in and clean it up ourselves. But because it's in foreclosure and we know who we're dealing with, I'm trying to avoid the cost of the title search by dealing directly with them. So we're going the avenue of finding them instead of doing the title search and cleaning it up ourselves.
This is the one that trash is sitting out in the driveway.
Yep,
correct?
it's in the corner of the driveway, there were like fences there. Yep,
So it's not just weeds, it's weeds and trash.
Yeah.
this one is weeds, the previous one, we've had a previous one on there, and that's for the accumulation of trash. And weeds the last time.
Same property, just two different steppers.
So the mowing company actually stopped by and mowed the front area, but they ignored the back, which is probably, I think they said about 3 feet tall yesterday. So they were up there for quite a while to get that taken care of, so. The company that's supposed to be maintaining it is not taking care of that, but we've had many conversations with this company and,
Well, I haven't had any conversations. I've had emails.
right,
I can't get
communication,
somebody
Yeah.
to talk to.
so. Yeah, next one is Robert and Mary Jane Hercules. It's for a lot at the corner of First and Truman. The street department took care of that last week, and that's the second violation, and that gets a fine as well. And then William Burns at 930 MacArthur Street. Weed violation. And they actually left a message for me yesterday at the fire station. They are like 75% complete with that. They just asked for a little bit more time, so we'll grant that. And then the accumulation and the declared nuisance will be taken care of as well, according to the note they left, so. But that's all the report there today.
So, just kind of, to clarify, not clarify, but just touch base. We do still try to work with people. So if they contact us and say they need extra time or, give us their plan, we are always willing to work with them. It's really the ones that just don't make any effort that we go in and clean it up ourselves.
And then you also have the open monthly reports that are there. And then also I've given you the fuel maintenance report for last month as well. Other than that, we're getting ready for Strassen Fest. We'll be hanging the banners this weekend and take care of all the things that we do for that as well.
Chief, I know this past week we had the ride, took place fundraiser for fallen law enforcement officers, and appreciate the fire department, putting the towers up and flag as they came through Mill Street. It was quite a sight, so
Yep.
appreciate your crew
Yep.
doing that,
Thank you.
recognition of that.
Yeah, it's a great event, and the riders, it's very good for them, and some of them get emotional. It's a great thing for them, and kind of helps them on their way, on their long ride that they go through, so. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Here.
That's this morning.
A couple items, both related to Main Street. First item, just a quick update. As you can see out the window, they are paving right outside the mayor's office this morning. So that will take them approximately 3 days to complete it. They've got base asphalt and then intermediate asphalt that's going down on top of that. So they'll have a period in there where they have to let the one cure before they can put the other one down. So by Thursday.
Finish coat will come later.
Yeah, finish coat will be the very last thing. That'll be probably mid-August towards the end of the third week in August, something like that. Don't have an exact schedule yet, but the intent is after the fest. Work has been completed up to 9th Street. We felt that we didn't want to get into 9th Street prior to the fest because we didn't know what we'd run into up there. And once it's open, it's do or don't. So anyways, felt it was the best option just to hold off until after the fest. So concrete work has been completed up to that intersection. Planters have been filled. ADA pavers, all the crosswalks have been completed. So asphalt's going down now. What we will do is the last 1.5 inches of asphalt to go on will go on later. They will wedge and level ramps, driveways, sidewalks, any place where there is a transition between the two elevations of the surface. They will wedge those in so that like a tripping hazard. So signs will be removed later this week. Basically everything will be cleaned up so that you can't tell that there was construction going on there. And then August 3rd, they will start up again. So, or whatever that Monday is. So, anyways, that's kind of status of that. Any questions on that?
The change order specifically is for what?
Change order is for, basically it's for South Main Street, more or less up to the point we are at now. There are some things, we got a couple areas of undercut up here that aren't on this one, but nothing that's significant as what was down on the south end. So, yeah, in regard to the change order, I have a change order in the amount of $106,926.57. There are 4 basic items on this, and I'll break them down for you here. Item number 1 was the stenciled concrete sidewalk along 4th Street. If you recall that that sidewalk from Main to the cultural center was stenciled as brick pavers. So this was the upcharge to replace that section back to that stencil pattern.
And has this already been done?
These are all finished. Yeah, these were all finished. Item number 3, these numbers will not be sequential because there were some things in here that we got proposals for that we did not accept. So, number 3 was additional tent anchors for the south end of Main Street, south of 4th. This is for the stage tent that will be assembled there. Those anchors, there are, let's see here. I think there's 9 of them, 8 or 9 of them that were installed. The amount for those was $25,887.54. Item number 4 was 2 water meter pits. And that was for both the north and the south ends. So these are for the irrigation system. That $4,220.28. And then the last item is modifications to storm sewers and undercut on the south end, and that was $68,793.75. So that gets you to your 106,926.57.
Just curious, normally wouldn't the amount for a change order be approved before the work is done? To make sure that there's enough money to cover the items? that are-
We've been tracking.
Chad did talk to me prior to, I think, the work being done. We have been in close contact about, how much money we have on.
And then where does this money come from?
So this will come from the funds that we have identified, to pay for this, in this, several different buckets. I can go there.
That's fine.
But we do have the money to pay for this.
And then one other thing, I'm in the understanding that South Main, the area that's already paved, will be redone and repaved. How will that be paid for?
We are looking into what will actually happen there. We've got a couple of options. The contractor and their subcontractor are putting together some different proposals for us, looking at that. This will be a warranty on it. It will not be anything that we will be paying for. And like I said, we don't know exactly how that will be done yet, but we'll make that
Or when?
later. Yeah, it more than likely, if it's repaved, it'll be done in coordination with the surfacing of the entire project. There are some other options that they are proposing that would not require it to be repaved. But we're looking into those. Pete Andriot, the architect that helped us with everything downtown, he's been a part of this as well, so.
Go back to your change order. Since there's money approved, I'll make a motion to approve that one. I think you said $106,926.57.
That's correct.
For the change order for Main Street on the south side of the project.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Nancy and a second from Tim. And any further discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. Well, I did have one other question. Someone approached me about their family's name. McDonald had been the name of a street a long time ago. And apparently when the streets in Jasper were then renamed, numbered, that name went away. And they were wanting to know how they could ever get their family name. Apparently, the McDonald family were some of the originators of Du Bois County, and there's no name in all of Du Bois County with this name, no street name.
I have seen that name on old plats. I can't recall which street it was, but I want to
I think
say
it was up by Snap.
somewhere north of downtown here, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we can do an honorary name.
Or maybe if
I don't know.
the street comes up that needs a name, we might suggest that,
Yeah.
wherever, they didn't really care where it was.
In a new subdivision or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, in a subdivision or somewhere, yeah.
Um,
So just something to
yeah,
keep in mind.
just a little bit of, like all the original the original city of Jasper plat had a lot of things like that on it. Streets that were different names. Over the years, when these lots got replatted, names got changed. So I think that's probably where.
It probably got changed, they think it got changed to, I don't know, maybe 11th Street, or not
Yeah,
really
okay.
sure.
Very good. Well, I'll take a look. I'll see where I can find that again, but yeah,
Right.
that's all I have.
The street name,
We
McDonald's the
one.
name.
Well,
We
We've always had Lois Lane too, so. That's always been on the list. Sorry, Renee. what were you
No,
saying?
no, I just said we have really streets in the back.
Yeah.
I think that's, just for reference, we talk about naming rights for a lot of items and naming rights aren't necessarily forever.
Right.
Because they wear another investment. Usually that takes more private equity coming in and usually rename them, just like the Lucas Oil Stadium. That's not how it started. It's went down a lot of different ways, but I think it's important to preserve history and people and families that have been here a long time. I think we look at those opportunities that are ahead of us, so it's a good point. Appreciate it.
Apparently this family settled long before Chisholm law ever did, so.
It was McDonald's Ford, it was just north of town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
right, and that's all.
between here and Louisville.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about.
That's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Jeff.
Morning.
Morning.
First item I had was a reminder of approval of purchases and, it was the, push camera, paint striping machine and a tire changer. We don't have a lot of questions on those because I just realized I did not print that email out, so. But anyhow, hopefully I explained it in the email well enough, so we are gonna proceed with those, three items that had been budgeted. So we're moving forward, just to let you know.
You did explain that,
Okay.
and I did print that out.
Okay, good, thank you, I'm glad one of us did. Next is a request to approve, to accept a lining of a storm sewer. Wastewater department does this a lot, it's a inliner out of, gosh, darn, I didn't write that down. Is it Salem, Indiana, or Orleans, I'm sorry, Orleans, yeah. Is that right? Okay. Yeah, inliner, and so anyhow, they're doing a few sanitary lines for the wastewater department, so we asked them to include that in the bid. This is for a property, it's the ag property on Cedar Road right at Poplar. And so anyhow, it was one of those where we knew we needed to replace it, and we had asked the contractor when they were doing Poplar to not pour that driveway back. Anyhow, they missed their note and poured it back. So anyhow, I really don't want them or us to go back in and tear that back out. And honestly, it's a concrete pipe. It's in good shape. Notorious though, concrete pipe, as it ages, those joints, those seals wear, and then where every joint is, there's the potential about half of them are leaking. And so sealing this would be a great project to do. And so anyhow, we got they included us in their bid that they had opened at the last utility board meeting. They approved their part of it. So this morning I'm asking for approval to line a 24-inch concrete pipe, approximately 140 feet in length, for a total price of $28,000.
And you provided a map of it.
Yeah.
So this is not stormwater,
It is stormwater. It is,
drafted the contract for approval by the stormwater board.
okay,
Is that not right?
so it needs to be approved by them.
If that's the budget.
Well, it depends on if is it coming out of the materials line item or, I don't know how that works.
Right. Oh, right.
That money's allocated to,
Yeah.
that money's allocated to the street department, so I
Right.
don't know if that gives him approval to use it.
If we can pull it out of the materials, that'll work. And that's, otherwise, his projects probably don't have
You
it.
could approve it pending determination, and that way they can go forward with the contract, that if it's stormwater, then we can go to the stormwater board.
Pending determination of the funding will be.
But originally you thought it was coming out of your budget.
Right.
Is that correct? And you
Right.
had money in your budget to
I
cover
do,
this.
yeah. So we
it doesn't
could
matter.
cover it, right? It's just that it's kind of a project, a kind of a contract thing. So I generally buy materials out of that. But again, there's plenty of money in it. So I feel comfortable doing that as long as Kirsten's okay with that as well.
So does this line up, Chad, with what we were talking about on Cedar Road, some potential improvements?
No, this is separate from that. This is right at Poplar on the west side of the Poplar, yeah.
I'll make a motion that, we accept a bid for cure and place pipe lining at 905 Cedar Road.
That's
That's my motion.
I'll second that.
We got it together.
It's with Inliner Solutions of Orleans, Indiana.
Any further discussion on this? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
okay. I'm gonna jump around on the agenda here. I'm gonna add one item that's not on there because the last one we want to talk a little bit more about. I'm requesting permission to send Bob Sunderman, Matt Kiefer, and me to the Indiana Street Commissioners Association, their conference, which is held in Plymouth, Indiana on September the 23rd through the 25th. And the total cost for that to attend and the hotel is it should be right around $2,000, depending on hotel taxes and whatnot, but and give or take. True. But yeah, so I'm looking right at $2,000 for the three of us to attend that for 2 days. 3 days, actually.
Yeah, we take those guys.
Yes.
To this, right?
Yeah.
Show.
The one who's in charge down there.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, to allow the, Jeff Tising, Sunderman and Kiefer, right? Is that who you said it was?
That's correct.
To attend the Indiana Street Commissioners Conference, September 23rd through 25th. The cost of around $2,000.
And you do have this in your budget.
We do, yes.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right, and then one more that I'm adding, and that is a dumpster request. Evidently yesterday, Jay Hamlin reached out and would like to place a dumpster over here, almost right outside this window, along 7th Street. He's gonna have it there Saturday and Sunday with the hope that they would pick it up on Monday. So it's really just over the weekend, shouldn't have a whole lot of effect. But he may block the alley, so he doesn't disturb a whole lot of parking there, but probably the loading zone and the alley. So that'll eliminate some of the parking that they may want downtown here for the weekend. So do I have that about right? Okay, all right. So, all right.
I'll make a motion to approve the dumpster request for 7th Street for over the weekend.
Motion to answer.
I'll second.
Second for Tim. Any further discussion?
Just say anything to whoever's loading zone that is.
I'm assuming that Jay's reached out to them, but when I call him, I will confirm that he did talk to Corbin's about that. So, all right.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And then the next item is Renee, I guess you'll probably want to take this over, but resolution number 2025-3. We've done some analysis of the trash fees upon request. And so we kind of broke it down by the many collection things that we do for foremost trash cost collection. And then we added recycling into that, the cost of that, as well as the revenue generated by the sale of those recyclables. which isn't significant, but it, every little bit helps, and it's also keeping it out of the landfill, so. And then we also added, rubbish collection, yard waste, to come up with a total. And, so anyhow, you know, I don't think that we ever thought that the trash sticker was supposed to cover all those things, all those items and all those costs. But the purpose of the trash sticker was the cost of it was to offset some of that, so that it wasn't totally being funded by tax revenue dollars. And so, based on that information, my recommendation would be, you know, to raise it to $2 a sticker from the $150 that it currently is. And that would at least cover the costs of the trash and the recycling. So it would not cover the rubbish collection part of it. But like I said, I think that was always kind of the way we were with that.
And I appreciate all the research you've done and all that data you sent, because it does really mean a lot. And it also makes us realize that, yes, that trash sticker will never cover all these costs. And I know you had this in here somewhere, but when is the last time we raised the price of a trash sticker from, I want to say it was $1 to $1.50? Was that the raise then? 2010, okay. It's been, yeah, a while back.
I would suggest that going forward, we probably ought to take a look at this at least every couple of years. Just like we do any other rates that we have in the city.
Good idea.
And we did discuss all over the board to raise that all the way to $3.11, which would cover most everything, but I think the mayor had some good comments about doing that and not doing that.
Yeah, I really believe that at this point, you know, we need to make an adjustment. You know, we need to offset some of those costs as they continue to increase. Our landfill costs continue to increase, our labor costs continue to increase, the equipment costs continue to increase. And we haven't done anything since 2010. It's been 15 years. So I think done a really good job of managing that, and the city overall incorporating that into the service we provide. But this is a time where we really need to take a good look and make some adjustment. And it's, as you mentioned, I think that what we figured is total cost is about $3.11. So the city taxpayers are absorbing some of that cost, but it's part of what makes us Jasper. It keeps us a clean community. The street department does a great job of getting out and picking up tree limbs and all the debris that we have from the storms, and people notice that when they come through town, they live here. So I think there is a value there in those services for all citizens, not just those that use the trash service. And for those citizens that maybe they choose to go do recycling somewhere else, maybe the county, but you know, with the city having curbside and sort at the source, it's a good program. It keeps from going to the landfill, and that is a big factor long-term in the health wellness of our whole area. So I'm gonna full support of this adjustment in this resolution, which is Board of Public Works 2025-3. So with that, I'd make a motion that we accept and adopt resolution number BPWS 2025-3.
I'll second that motion.
And I will second from Nancy. Any further discussion on that?
I just wanted to mention, Jeff, with the research you did, you also noted that the county and Ferdinand are ready to raise theirs to $2 also, and probably for many of the same reasons. Their data probably looks very similar.
Sure.
And so kind of in union or in conjunction with the others that have trash stickers, I think it's good that we do the same thing. Plus, you know, and your guys know, there's still plenty of people that hire private toters or whatever to put outside. So to me, that means they don't want to recycle. They don't want to maybe even put their trash in bags. I don't know what they do. There's plenty of those that sit out, and they'd be paying a lot more than these prices for those toters, because I know we have one at work and it's much more than what these prices would be for that amount of trash.
Sure. Sure. And there are residents that do recycle but don't use our trash service. So in a sense, that's why, you know, some of this has to be covered by tax revenue because again, they're not paying for stickers that help pay for that recycling service. But anyhow, so that's why, again, I say that some of that has to be, come from, tax revenue.
Yes.
I have a motion in a second. All in favor, somebody saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And one other item, we don't get to talk about fun stuff, so our interesting stuff. So a little quick, just real quick, I won't show the pictures, but I'll be happy to show them to you afterwards. Last week, one day, I got a phone call from our crew working up here on 9th Street, just north of 9th on Mill. We're replacing a sidewalk on the west side of the road. They were excavating, they were real close to 9th Street, and they called and said, Jeff, we hit a wall. And I said, what? And they said, we hit a wall. He said, you need to come up here and see this. So we went up and anyhow, they showed it to me and we found a bunch of bricks in a wall. And it went pretty far down the street and then it turned like it was going back to the west again. And I looked at that and I said, foul poultry house. And it was underneath that sidewalk. And they said, so what do you want to do? You want to tear that out? And I said, when you get down below those bricks, you're gonna hit the foundation. And I said, I don't have a clue what size that is. I said, it was underneath that sidewalk before, we're gonna pour right back over it. And so anyhow, but it was kind of interesting that we found a piece of history underneath that sidewalk. And so that was kind of cool. That was good. But yeah, when all these young guys are working up there and I said foul poultry house, they all looked at me like, what are you talking about? But I got a picture of it too. So, but yeah, years ago, when you went up Mill Street, you came to 9th and you had to turn right and go about 150 feet, and then you had to turn left to get back on Mill again. So, but after the poultry house went down, the city widened that street at an angle, and so anyhow, just a little bit of history. So kind of neat.
It's interesting.
All right, thank
All
you.
kinds of stuff under the ground.
Yes.
This is the City of Jasper archaeological dig. What we find is we've done Main Street and other areas in the city. It's very interesting. So if you're looking for an interesting job, street department's a great place to go.
Great plug there. Great plug.
Next, Josh, anything?
Good morning, board. One addition, sorry, I wasn't on the agenda. We are in our second summer with the Downtown Social District. And for each summer, the period right before Strassenfest and the period right after Strassenfest, we close the district to protect the Strassenfest and the events that go down that. So with that being said, the Downtown Jasper Social District is open daily from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. With the exception of the time before and after Jasper Strassenfest. This year, the social district will be closed from Saturday morning, July 26th at 12 a.m. and will reopen Friday morning, August 9th at 10 a.m. No designated permittee vendors are allowed to serve open alcoholic beverages for carryout during this time. Current permitted vendors include Cafe Pina, Headquarters, Oink Smokehouse, Housley's Lounge, Jeff Pub and Grub, St. Benedict's Brewworks, Trebiones, The Astra, Oddfellows, and Snaps. So, any questions on that?
Well, thank you for bringing that up, Josh.
Thanks.
Dave, do you have anything else?
No, I don't, thanks.
Kirsten?
I don't.
And we're rapidly running into Strassenfest. And, the preparations underway, so again, be careful. I know, the street department and all the departments are doing their best to present Jasper in a good light during this time. And I see residents out there also that are taking care of their properties, making sure they're manicured to the standards of the city of Jasper. Appreciate all the efforts that go into it. I just hope everyone has a safe Strassenfest and we come back saying that was one of the best we've ever had. So that I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Or make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion from Nancy, second from Tim, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yeah.